watching CBS 2 News This Morning in high definition.
Good morning. Well, whether you're a business leader, a student, or a parent, the biggest barrier to success can be in your own head. A new book is trying to help you clear out the junk that's getting in the way. It's called HeadTrash. And with us this morning, co-author Tish Squillaro. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk specifically. What is HeadTrash?
It's those emotional barriers that really get folks stuck. It stops you from doing things. It causes you to make decisions you wouldn't make, but you do them anyway. So it's that junk.
All right, and we'll go specifically through the junk so we can identify it, because
Sure.
I think that's the first step, is knowing what the junk is. First being fear.
So fear is when you really paralyze yourself. You get so frightened by doing something, you talk yourself out of it, but you don't even realize you're doing it because it's subtle. It's an everyday emotion. Fear is something that will have you move forward, but you have to move forward.
Right. How about insecurity?
Insecurity are those voices that really make you feel unimportant or that you're not good enough. People have trouble actually taking a compliment who have insecurity. They get defensive and they start to defend.
Right. You know what, let me ask you, since we're on that, what's the best way to take a compliment? Just a thank you versus, oh, you know, making excuses for it?
Thank you and a smile.
Yeah.
You know, just digest it. Don't give a defensive, answer to it like, oh, I could have done, because that's what you'll start to hear. Because these emotions are everyday emotions, and they're healthy. So we're not suggesting in our book to remove them. We're saying don't let them manage you, because when they start to take over, all of a sudden they do become destructive, and then they start to force you to do things that you wouldn't normally do if you thought about it clearly.
Right. All right. The next one I think a lot of people will relate to, which is control.
Ah, yes. Control is tough because, you know, what usually gets you to where you are is your force of control and having parameters. But when you feel like you have to be in every meeting or in every conversation or do it only your way, well, that's very hard on others. And that leaves you always doing everything. And that's not really scalable or livable.
All right. How about paranoia?
Paranoia is when you think everyone is against you. And you have trouble building relationships because you don't trust anyone.
Arrogance?
Arrogance is tough because you need a sense of arrogance to actually do certain things. You have to have self-confidence. You've got to have that passion. But when you only think about you, and you only allow your thoughts, and you remind everyone you're the smartest person in the room, well, it's crossed the line and became arrogant in a head trash form and not a confidence.
Right. I know some of those people. Okay,
we all
anger.
do. Anger's tough because anger is not just about being angry. It's how you take on an information. You get yourself upset, and you either become resentful and you hold it in, or you actually lash out, but you could do it without saying it. You could do it with your subtle body movements. So you cause fear in others, and that's an anger move.
All right, and then finally guilt.
Guilt, well, we all have a little guilt, right? There's guilt that we have on our own self, which is guilt-ridden, when we do things that we know we shouldn't do, but we feel badly. And then when you inflict guilt on others, where you manipulate. And manipulating is great if you're influencing on a good thing. But if you're influencing someone to do something they shouldn't do for you, that's a form of head trash.
All right, and then very quickly, I mean, we can all relate to some of those different things. What's a good way to kind of index it to see what you have and ways to fix it?
Well, you'll not fix it, but you'll definitely be able to manage it. We create a website just for this purpose so that you could go to HeadTrash911.com, and on there is an index called the Head Trash Index. You can take a 10-minute survey, and it'll highlight where you have your head trash. It'll give you a numeric score, and that score is then used on the severity scale, which will say which ones are plaguing you, and that's the first step. I mean, we're not going to get rid of these emotions. We need them. But are they plaguing you? That's what you want to find out.
All right, Tish, good advice. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Now, the book is called Head Trash, Cleaning Out the Junk That Stands Between You and Success. For more information, head over to our website, cbsnewyork.com. We're back in a moment.